Charlo, where you at? Where you at, buddy?
The morning after. You know what I found out last night watching Tszyu versus Brian Mendoza? Let me tell you what I found out last night. I'm done talking about or entertaining Terrence Bud Crawford versus Tszyu or Terrence Bud Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez. I'm done. After watching Tszyu versus Mendoza, let me tell you what I came up with. Tszyu been putting in dog, hard, blue collar, hard hat, lunch pail work to get to the point where, listen, he was right in line to take on Charlo. Charlo got injured, did some things. Tszyu didn't wait. He's waiting, but not really. He's staying busy. He deserves his unification, undisputed bout with him versus Charlo. Now that he's the WBO champion, he deserves it. And that made me think about Terrence Bud Crawford. Because after I called the fight last night, great live commentary. Thank you all for showing up and showing out. Fantastic. But afterwards, I heard people once again bringing up, I want to see Crawford versus Tszyu. What's in it for Tszyu? This is what I mean. We're hearing Crawford versus Canelo. Crawford versus Tszyu. What's in it for them? I would love to see the fights because Terrence Crawford is the best fighter in the world. So I would love to see the fights. But we're not keeping the same damn energy for Terrence Crawford versus Bruce Ennis. Great fight. Great matchup. Why? Because a lot of Crawford fans are saying, what's in it for Bud Crawford to take on Boots? Let's keep the same energy. What's in it for Tszyu? Tszyu has been patiently waiting, fighting, doing the thing of integrity, taking on all these hard challenges so he can finally get his unification bout, fight for undisputed against the best 154-pounder in the world, and that's Charlo. And that's the Black Two Krugers. David Benavidez, Boo Andre, two names notorious attached to Canelo Alvarez for Canelo Alvarez having duck pies, a duck-a-rone pizza. Now that they're fighting each other to eliminate each other or eliminate one of the other so he can get a chance to fight Canelo Alvarez to be undisputed. Now we're finally here, one fight away. Canelo Alvarez, 168-pound king. He should be looking at the winner between those two. And those two guys have done the job at super middleweight to deserve that fight. So, what's in it for Canelo to fight Crawford? I'm looking at this like, yeah, I would love it would be a spectacle, right? Crawford versus Canelo. Crawford versus Tszyu, less of a spectacle. That's a fight, right? I would love to see that. But I'm thinking about them, especially when I've said myself, what's in it for Crawford to take on Boots? Now he wants the big fights. Okay, what's in it for them? Tszyu needs his shot to fight Charlo. He deserves it. Beating Brian Mendoza the way he did, he deserves it. Canelo Alvarez doing his job, saying, I'm not thinking about Crawford. Rightfully so. I'm the king of the 168-pound division. I'm not thinking about a welterweight. I'm thinking about those in line, number one contender, deserving a shot at the title. And that's the winner between David Benavidez and Boo Andre. Let's not take our nose off the line here. Let's stay focused. And we want boxing to have integrity. This is that moment. Boots Ennis has been sitting there as mandatory. Mandatory. What's in it for Crawford? What's in it for Tszyu to fight Crawford? What's in it for Canelo to fight Crawford? Here's the thing. What's in it for Canelo to fight David Benavidez, Boo winner? What's in it for Charlo to fight Tszyu? Being a real champion, being the top fighter in the division and defending their titles. That's what you should do. So should Terrence Bud Crawford when it comes to Boots. Now, let's talk about Tszyu and Charlo matchup. I'm going to say this real quick. Tszyu looked like somewhere between. He definitely looked better than Brian Castaño. Not as great as Canelo Alvarez, meaning the perfect guy that would give Jermell Charlo some serious issues. That fight is closer now. There was a time when I was like, Jermell Charlo would knock him out. Now the fight is closer now. I'm very interested, especially with Jermell Charlo being out with an injured hand for over a year, fighting Canelo, not looking good at 168, then coming back down. That's a lot. That's a lot that's going to lean towards Tim Tszyu's favor, especially with Tszyu being on a roll, all right, being a star of his country and defending his title last night against a hard-punching, formidable opponent. He deserves his fight with Jermell Charlo, and I think it's going to be a good one. I want to say this about Errol the True Spence and Terrence Bud Crawford. That rematch, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't. I think it's very hard to make, and I think the original fight was hard to make, let alone a rematch that doesn't deserve to have a rematch. That's why I'm saying, okay, Terrence Crawford can't twiddle his thumbs. Tim Tszyu and Charlo, that's what it should be. And I know if Terrence Crawford moves up with the WBO, that loophole, he'll be Tim Tszyu's #1 contender, right? But he'll be as mandatory. But Tim Tszyu, unification's undisputed, trumps mandatory. So Tim Tszyu versus Jermell Charlo still trumps that. Tim Tszyu versus Jermell Charlo, Canelo Alvarez versus the Boo Boo Andre versus David Benavidez winner, and Terrence Crawford, do your job as the undisputed welterweight champion. Defend your titles, defend your crown versus the #1 guy, and that's Bruce Ennis. Let me know how you feel in the comments below. That's going to be my stance, and I was slowly inching there. But after Tszyu did what he had to do and deserves to have a fight to be the king of the super welterweight division, he's right. That's proper. And Jermell Charlo should be defending his titles against Boots, since the option of Canelo isn't really there. And the option for Jermell Charlo, another fight that been marketed and, over time been kind of growing, now it just fell apart with Jermell Charlo's performance against Canelo Alvarez. That's just not as big of an interest, but still a big interest and would be a fantastic fight to see in the ring, a great product. Terrence Crawford versus Bruce Ennis would be a fantastic product. Let me know how you feel in the comments below. ShowBizz the adult, Terrence Crawford. And Terrence Crawford fans, don't have Terrence Crawford do the boots where Errol Spence did to Terrence Crawford, what Keith Thurman did to Errol Spence, what Floyd Mayweather did to Keith Thurman. Let's stop that cycle. I'm out.